Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grant Mitt Podcast, episode number 171. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down how to completely alter your entire life in 6 months, meaning 6 months from today, no matter what year that you're watching this in, your life will be completely transformed. Your relationships, your business and finances, your well-being, the things you get to do, all the things that you want to accomplish, you can utilize this 4-step algorithm that I created that's very simple that will change the way you look at each one of your situations that you face. And real quick, I want to thank you guys. This podcast is listened to in 139 countries in 6 different continents simply because you guys share it with your friends, you post it on your stories. So thank you guys so much. If you enjoy it, hit the like, subscribe, comment below, and press the hype button if you guys are viewing this on YouTube. So let's talk about how to improve anything. So if you want to transform your life in 6 months, the first step is to measure it and quantify it in every single way possible. Okay, so I'll give you an example. When you want to improve anything, you have to measure it. The reason why this is so important is you can only clearly look at what you need to improve. What are the deficiencies? What are you doing right? If you can measure it, if you can put a data point on it. It's the same reason why that they have so much extensive data in any professional sports league. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey. They have so much data, and every year they keep getting more and more data that helps their general managers, the owners, the coaches, and the players improve. That's why steadily every single sport, records continually get broken as humans become more athletic, they're more prepared, they're playing longer, they're healthier. All of these things are improving because they are measuring their life and their day-to-day processes. Okay? So if you want to get more fit, instead of being super motivated and showing up to the gym one week and then the next week you're going to have something come up and this happened and this happened, and then 6 months from now you're the same or worse. Instead, go, how can I measure my health? You can get some type of fitness band, like a Whoop band. I use that and I love it. An Oura Ring, an Apple Watch. Track your sleep, track your calories, track your steps. You can track your heart rate. Whoop dives into everything, hormonal stuff, your resting heart rate, everything. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, you could find a trainer. You could have AI do this, or you could find some type of app that's super inexpensive and possibly even free that will build a workout plan and strategy for you. Okay, and then step 3, if you have a fitness tracker that counts how many calories you're burning per day, and you have one of those apps that track how much calorie intake you have, if you want a surplus to gain in bulk, perfect. If you want a deficiency, you have a calorie deficit that's less so you lose weight, you're going to lose weight. No matter if you're naturally bigger, naturally smaller, fast, slow metabolism, you are going to become better looking, more fit, healthier, and you're likely going to have a clearer mind with that. Same thing goes for your business. Anytime I'm meeting with a business owner in any single industry, one of the first things I do is make sure that they are getting as much real-time data and information as possible. And many times I've seen so many successful business owners that aren't tracking their data. We figure out a way to track it, even a 1.0 simple, very easy version to implement. And without me teaching them a thing, their business will explode. They'll improve because they already know their business. So if they don't have to lose sleep at night guessing, is this the person the right fit? Are these leads great? And they just know, not only are they saving energy, but they're going to make clearer decisions. Okay. Second, if you want to sustain anything, you have to implement a process behind it. Motivation is not scalable. Systems are. And you can utilize this if you have a family with kids. For example, you could have a marriage, right? You could set up a couple different systems that would always keep your marriage intentional where y'all are both growing in the same direction. And it doesn't have to get, cookie cutter and corporate and boring and rigid. I'm not saying that. But I have friends, for example, that no matter what's going on in their life, they do 2 date nights per week, just them. They get a babysitter for the kids, they have grandma watch it, whatever. And those 2 days helped their relationship stay strong. They could work out a certain amount of times per week. They could meet every 2 weeks or every month to talk about their finances and their kids and their family. They take one trip, just them two, every quarter, every 6 months, every whatever. Okay, these are small and yet tiny systems that, without you having to think and plan, will automatically make that specific relationship move in a more positive direction. Okay, I'll give you an example from a business perspective. When I built my first business, a solar company, we had a lot of sales reps, and I got with the leadership team, and I was like, guys, our average call volume, our outbound call volume just isn't really strong. We have some reps that just crush it. They work their tails off. They're doing hundreds of calls a day. And we have others that just one day's great, the next day's not. I said, how can we reward the behavior of working hard, but also make sure that it is a company-wide standard that effort is normal and it's not something you do on one day and not the other. And what we figured out is essentially a law of average that put everyone together, you total the amount of calls to set ratio. It takes about 100 calls to get 2 appointments. Well, if every rep's in 2 appointments, then they have 35 to 40 plus appointments per month. If they're just hitting their numbers, they're making 6 figures, and the top performers are making $300,000-$400,000 a year. So if we only built a system, it was very simple, where one, we could track it. So we got a call system that tracks inbound, outbound, records it, tracks everything. Okay, that's one. Then 2, we obviously have data for all their sales numbers, appointments, pitches, closes, conversions, keep rate. Okay, and level 3, so simple, and it changed our whole business. We made it a policy that you have to either get 2 sets in a day or 100 minimum calls. So if our sales reps, if they called 3 people and set 2 appointments and they want to stop calling for the rest of the day, cool, that's fine. No worries. But if they have a bad day, they have to at least make sure that they called 100, because we know overall and over time, that's going to give them an average of about 2 appointments per day. And what happened was incredible. Our revenue and sales went up almost 30%. Our sales reps started making more money. And if someone wasn't willing to do this, and also the one caveat is, if the reward is if they're doing this, they would get more fresh leads. And if they didn't, the next day they would be pulled from fresh live leads. If they did it again, we'd pull them for the day. And if they did it again, we'd part ways because they just clearly don't want to work. And because it made sense, we explained why. We painted the picture. We said, look, these are our top earners. Look at their effort versus everyone else. Even if you didn't like the person telling you this, you're like, well, I mean, I can't argue with numbers. And everyone's like, you know what? That's kind of fair. I like this. And so people now were trying to get those 2 sets in 10 calls or 20 calls or 15 calls, but they knew that they had to hit their marks if they wanted to keep getting the best leads, which are easier to set. So you see how we utilize a system, data, and incentives to drive the human behavior that we wanted to be more effective, more efficient, and more profitable as a business. Okay, I didn't get up there and yell at everyone. I didn't give an inspirational speech. Yeah, maybe that would have done something for a short period of time, but eventually it would have flatlined and went back to what was previously happening. Okay, step 3. If you want to multiply your life, okay, because remember, we diagnosed our life. We built a system that just that alone is going to typically make things better. But 3, if you want to multiply and reach the next level, you need 2 things to occur. Number 1, you're going to have to level up, right? This comes from learning, developing, and taking action. I wish I could give you a cooler answer. But if, for example, this is why mentorship is so valuable and learning. There's one area of my business I'm really trying to improve. So for the past week, for 30 to 40 minutes a day, I listen to some YouTube video, and I've consulted with some of my friends that are really, really good at this specific thing. And in 4 days, I feel so much more proficient at it. Okay? So the faster you can absorb information from people who are smarter and more successful than you, and the better you can enhance your skill sets, become better at everything, right? The way you look, your fitness, the way you dress, the way you communicate, the way you listen, the way you make decisions, your expertise in any subject. This creates a flywheel effect. where not only do you improve, let's say you focus heavily on sales, right? That is going to help improve marketing because you're going to have more budget. You're going to hire better people, better ad buyers, ad creatives, all of this different types of stuff, right? Bigger budget. If you're making more money there and you're more confident, you're probably going to work out more. You're probably going to dress better. You're probably going to carry yourself better, right? And that's going to affect your relationships positively and your networking. You see what I mean? So when you invest in yourself in any capacity, yes, you're going to have a higher return in that specific concentrated area, but you're going to have a ripple effect where the tide lifts all of the other areas as well. So if you want to multiply it, you have to become better. That's simple. Okay. And the second layer to that is you're going to start needing A players in your corner, not just your network, your friends, your spouse, but most importantly, in terms of a business stance, the people you have on your team, contractors, employees, business partners. All right. The key to know that you have an A player is if you have to ask, they're not an A player. A players are noticeable like this from people who aren't even involved with what you're doing. Okay, it's obvious. That's number one. Number two is A players, the second they get somewhere, even if they don't know how to do anything, they instantaneously make everything better, right? And then three is if you're interviewing or meeting or working with a true A player, you're going to feel energized and immediately learn so much, like you're literally paying a consultant or you're asking for advice from someone that's just amazing at something. That's what it's like hiring an A player that's a true specialist. This was a huge mistake I made my first year and a half of business. I would take people I like and trusted that were generally just a talented person and put them in a specialized role. All right, huge mistake. So you start getting higher quality people. You don't always have to learn it, but you can hire, contract out, consult, whatever, a person that specializes in that thing, and you can leap years ahead of other people because you're borrowing all of their expertise. An example of this is, let's say that you're at a bar or a restaurant and you open this menu. I'm a little ADHD, so when I see these menus with all these words, my mind just goes, whoa, that's a lot. I'll fold it and I'll have a general idea of what I like. But here's the secret. Instead of me having to waste all this energy looking through a menu, I can focus on talking with whoever I'm with, a group, single person, whatever it is. And instead, when the waiter or waitress comes up, I know they had to learn that menu front to back. They also see the reactions and the feedback from everything they bring to any table, whether it's a drink, whether it's food. So all I have to do is they go, hey, do you want me to give you guys any recommendations? I go, yes. I like X, Y, and Z. What do you recommend? And they'll be able to say, I recommend this, this, or this. And I go, let's do the second one. We just saved all that energy. Business and life is the same way. We can pass other people and skip grade levels simply because we can receive and develop quicker and leverage other people's talent. All right, number 4, if you want to protect what you're building, damn, no one talks about this. This is so powerful. Create policies around it. Okay? Not everything needs to be a fresh decision. There are certain things that until something drastically changes in your industry or in the world are just going to be like stone. It's going to work. It's like a wheel. Think about all the innovations we've had. We still have a circle wheel. It's not square, it's not an octagon, it's not a triangle, it's a wheel. Okay, maybe that changes when there's flying cars, but generally speaking, if it's on the ground and it rolls, it's gonna be circle, okay? So here's a couple ideas of policies that you can have in place to have better relationships, better business, everything. Number 1, with relationships, you could say, like, let's say you're married. You said, hey, you could say the husband say he never makes a purchase over X dollars. It could be $1,000. It could be 10,000. It could be 100,000. Depends how wealthy you are, without consulting the spouse. It's a good policy, right? Or you never go to sleep mad. It's a policy, okay? Another thing could be if you are having any alcohol that night, even if it's just one, you Uber. Is there a chance you can make it the next 30 years driving? For sure. But is there a higher chance you could have a DUI, you could get a wreck, something bad could happen? Much higher if you drive. So it's a simple policy to protect yourself. Okay, another one, business-wise, don't date coworkers. A lot of people do this and they have lots of problems. If you're going to do it, you better make sure he or she's the one. Okay, this protects you from getting in massive HR issues, legal issues, messiness, problems. They all protect you. Okay, business-wise, okay, like that was a policy I explained earlier in the process that if they don't do that process, then they get pulled from leads. And if they do it XYZ times, then they're terminated. They're not a good fit. Okay, another example, hiring. We noticed, my first business, that there was a certain industry that just constantly caused us problems. We were like 1 for 15 on hires. Horrible. We lose so much money every time we hire someone that doesn't work out. And so what we did, we set a policy that we cannot hire from anyone who has worked in this industry. It sounds pretty crazy, but now our management, our leadership couldn't even see any resumes from that industry. And let me tell you something. Our quality of people that came in went through the roof. We had less turnover. We had better culture. The company did better financially. Every single thing got better. You can do this with people. You could say, hey, like, let's say like their religion is really important to you. I only date people with this religion. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. It doesn't make someone with a different religion a bad person. You're just looking for more alignment. So whatever that is, you build policies around your life, in relationships, in dating, in business, where you go. I'll give you something that's an interesting example. Is unless you have a good relationship with someone, if someone asks you to do something like an hour beforehand, you are likely a backup. Okay, so make it a policy that if they don't give you X amount of hours, it could be 6 hours, 12 hours of notice, unless they're like your best friend or wife or husband or brother or whatever, then you say no. Say, no, I can't. Let's do something soon. That's a sign of self-respect. Okay, so these 4 processes, I'm going to recap for you, right? If you want to improve it, measure it. If you want to sustain it, build a system around it. If you want to multiply it, get A players in your corner and improve individually. And 4, if you want to protect it and sustain it, build policies that protect it. All right, now I want to ask you a couple quick questions just to leave you with this thought so you can improve and start immediately elevating your life. All right, number 1. Where are you not measuring something that if you did would immediately make your life better? Think this, write this, put it in your notes. Okay? Where could you start measuring something that would immediately make your life better? All right, number 2. Where are you being too reactive in your life right now? We're all smart, but if we actually use our brain and slow down, man, life gets better so much quicker. Okay, so where am I being too reactive? Okay, and then 3, what non-negotiables or policies do I need to implement right now that would protect my future self and the goals in the life I am creating? Okay, where do you need to implement non-negotiables? So I hope this podcast helped, guys. If you enjoyed it, comment below, press the hype button, share this with your friend. And also, if you guys are a business owner and you guys are looking to scale your business, click the link below, book a quick call to apply to work with me. Most importantly, guys, have an amazing week. I'll see you guys again for the next episode. Bye, guys. Cheers.